So about the social norms, let's start talk about the social norms. What social norms have been holding you back? Oh, actually, there's nothing holding me back. Nothing holding me back though, but let me just list. I have to use social media such as Instagram or Facebook. I need to keep using them and like contact with the social society. Like I think this my friends press me to use that, though I don't want to use that. And I need to hang out in a group form. Like if I don't have a group, it looks weird. And I need to wear or buy something expensive, which is like a materialism. And I need to get a good or high grade on every subject in order to be a good student in the school. And how could you challenge these social norms? These social norms I have, so for the social norm that I have to use social media such as Instagram or Facebook, maybe I can just like I don't just use them. I don't but because I don't feel that I need to use that, and I feel better to use cell phone or like face-to-face talk rather than use like chatting stuff or like posting the images of mine on the social media, because it's kind of awkward to posting them. The way that I just challenge to the social norm is just not using them, and maybe get a good friend that maybe get a good friend who thinks like the same way as me, like. And I need to hang out in a group form. If I don't have a group form, it seems weird. This social norm I can challenge with, like I would tell to my friends that I like being friends with you, but I don't think that I need to hang out with you as a group form, and I don't think that we need to decide the exact member. And I will make a friend who doesn't care about that, like who doesn't care about the group, and then that's why I solve this problem. Like that's how I challenge these social norms. And I need to wear or buy something expensive. It's materialism basically. Because the expensive things are mostly expensive because of the brand's value. This means although like the quality of the product is not very good, because of the brands are very popular and famous, people tend to buy them, and that's why the materialism is a social norm. And therefore I can find something that has like more high quality than the expensive things, but like with the cheap price. I'm sure that I can find it, and I'm just gonna use that, and I don't need to waste my money on buying the expensive things. And I need to get a good grade on every subject in order to be a good student. I think the definition of good students can be very broad. A student who have many friends can be a good student, and students who is very kind can be a good student. And so I would try to be like get a good grade, but also not only getting a good grade, like I would try to find another definition of being good students out of the grade, getting the good grade. How do you define who you are and or want to be without being influenced by social expectation? I judge myself, or like I define myself like judging myself. I mean, I'm a person who doesn't get influenced by like society, I think, and so I always check myself and like always check like what I want to be and what I want to do. I think love yourself, love myself and love yourself is the most important thing. And it's kind of like seems I'm so egoistic and I'm so selfish, but I don't think that it's wrong. But listening to and reflecting the society's perspective towards me is also very important, because like man is like a social animal. We have been living like reading of the society, and that's how human is to be. So I think that's why like we cannot ignore the social perspective toward the individual. So I think that's why people tend to follow the social norm, like people eager to follow the social norms, like in order to fit in the society. But I think like if you eager to fit in the society like a lot, that's also not good because it's kind of losing your personality. So in my case, I hear and reflect what people say about me and what the society does, like which can be also said as a trend of the society. But I don't follow them or not eager to follow them because everyone is different. I believe that everyone is different and they have a different personality and different different things that they want to love, like it's their individuality, and that's what makes them like special, and that's what differentiates from the others in the society. So to conclude, I individually and personality defines myself, I believe, and protecting it without following the social norm is the way I define myself also. Now let's talk about my self-limiting beliefs. I think I can say my self-limiting beliefs as a quote. Not believing myself, like I will be alone because of my personality, like which is very timid, and I'm not good at something, like blank, and fear for the first time. Like those are my self-limiting beliefs. Where did those self-limiting beliefs come from? I think my self-limiting beliefs are coming from like in the same place, same sources, like environment and the PPP, like parents, peers, and the pressure. Especially like environment around me is also like takes a role of sources of self-limiting beliefs of me. But peer pressure is the most effective thing to me because in my age, like though I said that I don't care about judgment toward me from the society and judgment of my parents and peers toward me, as a human I care about them like just less than the others. But so before I do some action, like I always worries about like, is this gonna be looking good for them or not? It can be said like it's very useless, and it's when I start to asking myself about like the judgment toward me of the others, of my friends, it's endless and very useless and just stress me out a lot. I'm trying not to think about that, but I cannot help. But so also, moreover, the past experiments, it can be said as like a trauma to me, and it is very fit to one of my self-limiting beliefs, fear for the first time. I think fear for the first time is biggest self-limiting beliefs to me because I think I'm kind of person who is obsessed with perfection. Like if I don't do this with the perfect performance, it kind of makes me to stress out and makes me anxious about that. So because the first time we don't know anything about that, we don't know information and we don't know how to do that, we don't know what it is, so it's like ignorance, and I really fears about the ignorance because it's the same as the first time, and like I cannot prepare. Perfectionism is a social norm. I needed to say this like before, but perfectionism is what I really want to keep it. I don't throw it away. I think perfectionism to me is it's very good to me. It gives a positive effect to me. Also, my personality also takes a role in my self-limiting beliefs, which is very timid. I think I'm so very timid, and I'm not a person who speak in front of the people, but I am a person who speak in front of people. Like I'm just like depending on the situation. And how can you challenge your self-limiting beliefs? I try to think a specific way, but I can't help to think about it because like it's very difficult to get out from my self-limiting beliefs, which is like you know, it's on my body. I cannot throw it away. So but I came up with one idea, same like the advertisement phrase of the Nike, just do it. I really like that phrase, just do it without the reason, without concerning about the others' vision to me, like others' eyes on me. So just like having a mind, I don't care about that, and I will not care about that, and I don't mind it. It's very important, and just doing it without those concerns is the best thing, I think. So I'll try to do that, and I'll try to keep in my mind that just do it, that phrase in my mind, and I'm gonna like try to practice that in my real life, though I'm a little bit slow, but I will try. Through the research that we did in the character education class, my career, my specific ideal career was illustrator, video editor, and architecture. Relationship is the very important thing in this career, because was the very important thing in this career because in order to get a job, in order to get a work, as a illustrator, as a architecture, as a video editor, I need to know every person that works in that industry well, because when I know those person, it's get easier to get a work and then get a good chance to become success. So this is what I know, like basically about my careers. Like I can explain more about like specifically to become an illustrator, I need to better go to the university that study especially for the arts. I can change my job after I study those major. It's like very broad. Illustrator, like when I compare to the other jobs that studied arts together, the wages that illustrator receives is a little bit smaller, a little bit less than the other job that studied the same arts together. So I think I just like hesitating to choose whether to choose or not, but I like to draw something and I like to draw illustration. Video editor is like literally the person who edits the videos and for the movies or for the dramas, like for everything, like the thing that is related to the video. So the person that I interviewed about the video editor told me that the wage of the video editor is not very stable because they need to run or they need to seek for the job or seek for the work they can do, like with their with their social stuffs, with the person who they know about in the industry. Yes, chance is the most important thing, and also entering a good university or entering a good school is also important. Not that important, but if you go to the good university, that will gonna give you a good chance to meet a good student or good person, because they basically know the knowledge, high knowledge and high skills. So the last one, architecture. Actually architecture, I really want to be architecture before I researched, but after the research I just kind of not go very closer to the architecture stuff, because through the research I noticed that the architecture is kind of very difficult to become. My skills doesn't match to the architecture stuff. In order to be an architecture, I need to know like everything, and in Korea, because I will go to Korea like after graduating this school, in Korea becoming architecture is very difficult, and there's some degree about the about the architecture, and passing in that degree is the most difficult thing, but more difficult than becoming a doctor. That's the biggest thing that makes me to quit to dream about becoming an architecture. And so these were the all information about my ideal careers that I researched during the class. What consideration would you put when you make a decision for your future? I would put for my ideal futures, I would put wages, like money money that I'm making when I become that career, like when I become one of them. Like according to my research, I think all of them were not very high earning job, and illustrator is the lowest thing. And I was like, what? Why? I didn't thought that illustrator would earn that little. I was like, can I maintain myself when I become an illustrator? I was considered to quit dreaming about becoming an illustrator. That is the thing that I think the most important for making my decision for my future. Next question was about how can you be innovative and flexible in your planning. Maybe I can think about, I can put my personality or my skills for the consideration that I would consider when I'm planning for my future. I can think about my skills. So for example, illustrator is basically the job that you draw some illustration and you need a artistic skill, and I have a artistic skills. That's what I choose at. For my personality, I'm not a person who very activate in the society, so I think architecture and video editor is not very good to my personality, because those are the things that requires social skills. What do personality need to do to set yourself up for meeting your goals? So for meeting my goals, my goals is basically just becoming one of them, like whether illustrator, architecture, video editor. In order to achieve that, I need to develop myself for that job. Like for the video editor, I need to make some videos, make some new content myself to prepare for that job, to develop myself. Also, I need to practice and improve my drawing skills and painting skills. I'm planning to take a movie production class for the next semester, and then I'm planning to take a AP art class for my senior or 11th grade. Because how can I be congruent with the choices I make in my relationship? My choices for my relationship was trust, understanding, and respect. These three things were my choices for my relationship, not only for the dating relationship, but also for the relationship between the family, parents and me, and in the friends, relationship between friends and me. How can I be congruent with the choices I make in my relationship? How can I achieve those values in my relationships? Okay, so first I chose understanding as a value that we need to keep in our relationship, because understanding each other in the relationship it's very important. Because if you don't understand what the other things or what the other acts like, I don't understand her, why you act like this, I cannot understand, I will not understand. That attitude is very rude. So I think every people need to keep for our relationship. So for example, relationship between my mother and me. So my mother tells me always like, hey, clean your room. Like cleaning your room is the very important thing, and I want you to clean your room every day and blah blah blah. And I in my case, I don't understand her. I'm not keeping that value right now, but it's kind of weird, but it's kind of ironic. But yes, I will try to be congruent with the understanding in my parents and me relationship. I need to understand what my mother thinks, like, which is clean your room. Maybe I can try to think in my mother's way. So for the next value, which is trust, I will give friend as an example. And I think trust is also important in the relationship between friends. For example, for me, like, because like I believe that friend is built up with the trust, and they can share the secret between each other. Like maybe I can tell that I don't like mushroom, and this is my secret, and I tell her that I don't like mushroom, and she'll keep it and she'll keep in like as a secret, because that's why I tell her, and I believe her that she'll not tell about my secret for everybody. But and also she will tell me her secret. For example, she likes sweet potato, and this is very very big secret. And then I will not also spread this secret of her to everybody, because I am a friend with her, and we have a trust in our relationship. So, but if one of us tells our secret to the other or make a rumor about our secret, it's gonna be very worse, and it's gonna lead our relationship to the end, and we'll break up. So for the next value, I will talk about the respect in the dating relationship. In dating relationship, respect for each other is very important, because nowadays there's a lot of dating violence, and that is like growing up to our social problem, and it's very enormous. Like no respect in the dating relationship, like lead the couple to fight a lot, and that makes to the end of the relationship also. Though I didn't have any dating relationship ever, I know that cases and those actions or those attitude toward us will gonna make that relationship to break up at the end. How can I be congruent with the value of trust in the relationship, like every relationship? So in order to be congruent with trust in the friend relationship, I think having a same feeling where like congruent mind with the friends is very very potential way to being congruent with trust. So this is A, and then this is B. A thinks that B is her best friend, and B thinks that A is her not best friend, just like friend, but she's not a big part of her work. If A and B has same minds or same amount of thinking that, oh, she's my best friend, then it's gonna like, even though I tell her that my secret, she'll not just like, oh, that's your secret, but I don't care, and she will not tell this to everybody, because she know that this is my huge secret, and I also will not tell her secret to everybody. So to conclude, having the same amount of thinking that this relationship is important is the way I chose to be congruent with trust. And the last question, how could the choices I make have a positive impact on my futures? So I made the choices of the 3 important values in my relationship. I think the impact of choosing these three values, all my future will be the same or like will be very very similar. Which is like for the understanding, because I chose understanding to my important value in the relationship. Maybe I can understand each other like in any relationship. Like I can understand the others, not my friends, not my parents, not someone I know like well. So that's gonna make my future very very too easy to live. I don't know, like easy to fit in the society. Though I don't have a lot of relationship, if I make a relationship with based on the trust, I will make a relationship which very essential and potential. Is the matter of the quality of the relationship, like, and then the quality is made by the trust, and because I make the relationship based on the trust, that will make my future very very bright. Because like whether borrowing money or helping me for something, I think respect in my relationship will make me to have a habit of respect everyone, like respect everyone and have a good manner for everyone. And that will make me to, same as what I told you for the understanding, that will make me to have more good condition of social life when I become older, like in my future. Because I respect everybody. They will see me as like, oh, she respect me, and I think she's very kind. That person will also respect me. So, like getting or receiving respect for the answer of respect that person is very, I think that's good, and I think that's gonna impact my future very very positive way, and my relationship in the society, like in overall society, will also become very healthy based on that value. And yes. 못하겠어. Reflect what people say about me and what the society does, and what society says about me. So, in my case, in our relationship, no. Example.
아 싫어. 아 그냥 이거를 써. 네가 스크립트. 모르겠어. 너 진짜 이거 오늘 걸릴 거야 진짜? 그거 보고서 아니 그게 훨씬 낫지 않아? 그렇기 때문에 왜 아니 왜 전이야?